You know the feeling when you walk into the room and immediately feel the tension? Someone shares their anxiety with you and suddenly your stomach is in knots. You leave work feeling drained, not emotionally, but just also physically sick. If this sounds familiar, you're not just being empathetic, you're literally absorbing other people's stress responses into your own nervous system, and your gut is paying the price. I used to think my ability to deeply feel others' emotions was just a part of being a compassionate person. Now, honestly, I prided myself on being able to sense when someone was struggling, even when they hadn't said anything. But I didn't realize that my nervous system was processing their emotional states as if they were my own personal experiences. And here's what's actually happening in this scenario. I was managing not just my own anxiety, but biochemically absorbing everyone else's stress responses too. And by the end of each day, I felt like I'd been through multiple crises that weren't even mine. My digestive system was in constant chaos. My sleep was disrupted, and I had this bone-deep exhaustion that rest never seemed to fix. The breakthrough actually came when I learned about emotional contagion, the scientific fact that we literally catch others' emotional states just like we can catch a cold. Suddenly, my mysterious symptoms, they actually started to make perfect sense. So your brain contains specialized cells called mirror neurons that automatically replicate the neural patterns of people around you. Well, this survival mechanism, is important, but when you witness someone else's panic, your brain creates identical firing patterns. Your cortisol rises, your gut bacteria shift, and your digestive system responds as if you're facing that same threat. And this happens faster than conscious thought. So before you even realize someone is anxious, your nervous system has actually begun mimicking their stress response. And if you're highly sensitive or work in helping professions, your mirror neurons are constantly firing, creating a biochemical chaos that your gut has to process. Here's the part that blew my mind. Your adrenal glands can't tell the difference between your crisis and someone else's. They respond identically to both. So if you spend your days around anxious, traumatized, overwhelmed people, your body is producing stress hormones as if you're facing multiple emergencies simultaneously. If your work involves emotional labor, whether you're a therapist, a teacher, healthcare, any type of caregiver, you are particularly vulnerable to anxiety absorption. Your professional training teaches you to be attuned to others' emotional states, but no one teaches you how to protect your nervous system from biochemical overload. You've probably experienced this. You've felt calm before a difficult conversation, but afterward, your anxiety in your stomach, well, it's upset. That's not your anxiety. That's absorbed emotional energy, creating real physical symptoms in your body. The cruel irony here is that the same sensitivity that makes you exceptional at helping others also makes you vulnerable to their stress. Your gift becomes your liability when you don't have proper boundaries around it. So let me help you recognize when you're absorbing others' anxiety versus experiencing your own. Absorbed anxiety often feels different from your personal stress, okay? Absorbed anxiety, well, it appears suddenly during or after interactions with stressed individuals. The intensity doesn't match your actual life circumstances, or you're experiencing physical symptoms that seem to mirror what others are describing. I started tracking my symptoms and made a clear pattern recognition. My digestive issues flared after emotionally intense work sessions. My sleep problems correlated with the number of anxious patients I would see. My mysterious food sensitivities appeared during periods when I was more exposed to trauma stories. Your body is constantly giving you information about what you're absorbing. The question is whether you're paying attention to these signals. Here's what makes anxiety absorption so dangerous. It compounds your stress load exponentially. Instead of managing just your own nervous system, you're trying to regulate multiple systems simultaneously. This creates a toxic overload that your gut simply cannot process. When you absorb someone's panic attack, your gut bacteria respond as if you're having the panic attack. When you witness trauma, your digestive system processes the stress hormones as if you're experiencing the trauma directly. Over time, this creates a chronic inflammatory cascade that no amount of probiotics or gut healing protocols can even begin to overcome. Your microbiome becomes a battlefield where beneficial bacteria die off under constant cortisol assault. This sets up a vicious cycle where poor gut health makes you more vulnerable to others' emotions and which further damages your digestive system. So it's really important here to learn to create boundaries around emotional absorption. It doesn't mean becoming less compassionate. It means you're protecting your nervous system so you can help others from a place of strength rather than depletion. And here are 3 strategies that changed everything for me. First, develop pre and post interaction rituals. So before emotionally challenging conversations, take 3 deep breaths and set an intention to stay connected to your own emotional state. And after difficult interactions, use grounding techniques to return your nervous system to baseline. Second, practice the emotional ownership check. Ask yourself, hey, is this anxiety mine or am I absorbing it for someone else? This simple question can help you differentiate between your emotions and absorbed energy. And thirdly, create physical and energetic boundaries. This might mean changing your physical position, taking breaks between intense interactions, or developing visualization techniques that help you maintain your own emotional space. And if you've ever been absorbing others' anxiety for months or years, your nervous system needs to recover. It needs time. Your gut bacteria needs space to rebalance without constant cortisol assault. This healing process requires both boundary work and active support for your digestive system. So start paying attention to your energy levels after different types of interactions. Notice which conversations leave you feeling drained versus energized. Track your digestive symptoms in relation to your emotional workload. This data will help you identify your absorption patterns and create more targeted protection strategies. And remember, you can be deeply empathetic without being a biochemical sponge for other stress. Your sensitivity is a sophisticated intelligence that deserves protection, not exploitation. This week, I want you to experiment with the emotional ownership check. So when you notice anxiety or stress arising, pause and ask, is this mine? And if the answer is no, practice some grounding breaths and remind yourself that you don't need to carry energy that isn't yours. And pay attention to how your gut feels during this process. Many people notice immediate relief when they consciously release absorbed anxiety. Your digestive system will thank you for creating these boundaries. Your nervous system was designed to process your own emotions, not absorb everyone else's anxiety. And when you understand that emotional contagion is real, measurable phenomena with physical consequences, you can start protecting yourself without guilt. You don't have to choose between being compassionate and having healthy digestion. You can care deeply while maintaining boundaries that protect your biochemistry. Your gut health depends upon it. So what's your experience with absorbing other people's emotions? And have you noticed the connection between emotional exposure and physical symptoms? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this opened your eyes to something new, hit that subscribe button, share, like, follow, comment, because we're going to go deeper into nervous system and gut connection in future videos here coming up.